Good morning everyone, or good afternoon wherever you are. Now, again today we're going to talk about Crowd1. Crowd1 is a scam. I'm not going to make any money out of this video. I'm not selling you anything. I am just here to try and save you from investing in Crowd1. Now, as I said, I did invest in Crowd1 at one point. And I thought, yeah, maybe I'll get in, I'll make my money, and then I'll get out. Because that's how ultimately a Ponzi scheme that Crowd1 works. But then I realized in order for me to do this, I need to recruit other people. I need to get other people to buy into Crowd1 under me so that I can make some money. That's how a Ponzi scheme works. Now, if they've got, remind you, if they've got 20,000 members per day joining, that's around 2 million euros per day. Again, through Bitcoin, all that unregulated. Now, let's talk about the world's biggest, known to man, Ponzi scheme. Now, it was done by Bernie Madoff. And Bernie Madoff was arrested in December of 2008. Now, I've taken notes and I've put forward a timeline. So, let's go through this. Now, in the early 1960s, Bernie Madoff, he used to work as a gardener, essentially. He was a gardener and he did swimming pools and things like that. He was just an everyday guy, just like you and me. That was in the 1960s. And he started Madoff Securities Limited Liabilities Company, LLC, in America with around $5,000 that he had saved. And from family and all that stuff. Now, by the early 1980s, Bernie Madoff Investments or Bernie Madoff Securities, LLC, was one of the biggest individual hedge funds in America. Okay, now this is in America. Now, the rules have tightened up a lot more since the crash with Bernie Madoff because they realized they made a lot of errors. But in America, if you want to do something, they check everything. Obviously, they didn't check enough with Bernie Madoff. There's still a lot of criminal investigations in this. A lot of people have lost their jobs within the Securities and Exchange Commission. Okay? But you still have to be pretty onto it. There's a lot of fraud there. Okay, now 1980s is one of the biggest. In 1990, Mr. Madoff became a chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange. That's huge! They're saying that in the late 90s, the Securities and Exchange Commission was tipped off to the fact that Bernie Madoff Investments was a Ponzi scheme. They should have investigated it more. They investigated a little, but not enough. Again, in 2015, a private fraud investigator from Boston sent a report to the Securities and Exchange Commission saying it is highly likely this is a Ponzi scheme. Now, how was he operating this scheme? Okay, people give him, now let's make the figures very small. Let's say people give him $100. They give him $100. Every year he makes a return by investing in the stock market. Now again, the SEC is now saying there's no proof that he ever invested in the stock market. Okay, but every year he says to those investors, you have made an extra 12%. So if they invested $100, they get back $112 every year. Now, most of them leave the $12 in his funds because that's how compound returns work. That's how they're going to get you the most. But some of them take out that $12, it's fine. Now, in order for him to give that $12, because he's got heaps of investors, he has to get more people joining the scheme. That's how a Ponzi scheme works. Okay, in early 2008, supposedly Bernie Madoff told his family, "Oh shit, this is a Ponzi scheme." He let them know this is a Ponzi scheme, and yeah, people are going to lose all their money. Now, the only reason that people found out about this Ponzi scheme is, as you might know, in 2008, there was a global economic downturn. Basically, there's a whole heap of subprime mortgage loans given to people in America. The housing market collapsed. People were panicking. Anyway, investors basically wanted around $7 billion of investment funds back. They all requested around $7 billion. And it was only when they requested around $7 billion that he finally admitted, "Hey guys, there is no $7 billion. There is no $7 million. The fund is broke." And nobody was investing into the fund. People were trying to take money out, so the fund went broke. That's ultimately how Crowd1 will fail. It's how a Ponzi scheme works. Oh my god. Yeah, so 10th of December 2008, that's when he confessed. 15th of December, his son said they had no idea. Even though his sons were working in his scheme, even though his sons were doing all the funds with him, they said, "We've got no idea that Bernie Madoff Investments was a scam." Bullshit. They knew it was a scam, okay, but the law couldn't really touch him. He was put under house arrest. People started suing him, trying to get back money. But again, there was no money. He had spent most of the money. The rest of the money, now it goes through shell corporations, it goes to the Caymans, it goes through Switzerland. So it's still estimated that there's around about $30 billion worth of money hidden away that only Bernie Madoff knows about. We don't know, but that money's got to be somewhere, because the entire fraud of the Bernie Madoff securities, it was more, well, originally it was thought to be around 50 million. Now they're saying it is, what was it, around 65 billion? Yeah, around $65 billion. $65 billion was taken from people. That's horrible. Anyway, now Bernie Madoff is dying of cancer. He's a very old man, and he's trying to get out of prison early because he's dying. Now, let me tell you, his family still owns $7 million apartments and all that stuff. Again, when fraud is committed, if they can't prove everything, which is how the scheme will work, the rich guys will get rich, the people in the middle will get a bit, people at the bottom will lose everything. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially the timeline. If you want to read up on it, go for it. As I said, I believe with every bone in my body, Crowd1 is a scam. Someone told me the other day when I came out on one of these Crowd1 breakthrough groups, which is the groups where people who join Crowd1, they basically get put into a group with leaders and all this stuff. Someone told me, he said, once Crowd1 goes mainstream and it goes onto the NASDAQ, he said, then I'll be laughing and you'll be an idiot. And I said to him, mate, there is zero chance that Crowd1 will ever make it onto the stock market. Do you know how much scrutiny, not even Madoff Investments was on the stock market? Because he knows, in order to get onto the stock market, you've basically got to have auditors living at your business. They check everything you do. Everything you do. Yeah. That's essentially it. As I said, if Crowd1, by some, I don't know how, if there was a way that I could short the stock, meaning I'm saying that it's going to go to zero, that it is going to fail, I would invest my life savings into it. Because I know that if they valued Crowd1 at whatever, at $100,000, and I invested all of my life savings, I would hedge it. I would probably make $300,000 off it. That's how hedging works. Crowd1 is going to fail. Please do not invest in Crowd1. Get out of Crowd1. Do not invest. Do not recommend it to your friends, because maybe you will get a little bit rich. And again, remember, like I said before, just because it says on my computer, in fact, while I'm here right now, let's open up my Crowd1 account. They might have blocked me since my video yesterday. Let's see. Logging in live. What's going on here? It's not logging in. Nothing's happening at all. Oh no, I'm still in Crowd1. It's just loading now. Yep. Cool. I'm still in. Alright, so it is still saying that I have 313 Crowd1 rewards points. Now these Crowd1 rewards points are supposedly worth $2 each. So I supposedly have around 600 euros in that account. Again, that doesn't mean anything. They could say that there's 10,000 euros in that account. I don't care. Until you have cash in your hand, until you are holding real money, it means nothing. Okay? Until money's in bank, it means nothing. Bernie Madoff, all of his victims, thought that they had $65 billion invested. They thought that if they wanted it, they could take out $65 billion. But in the end, they couldn't take out anything. And as I said, some people are going to make a bit of money. Most people are going to lose money. Alright, this has been another video. I'll keep on posting stuff. Do not invest in Crowd1. Crowd1 is a scam.